Hello there. This is the CT200 I picked up this morning in the garage sale for $100. I'm not really sure what I got myself into. It does pull over. It's got a pull start there. This is an Australian only ag bike apparently. So it's obviously not been started for a while. I'm a bit worried about what's around the thing there. My mate said the tank was good. I didn't really take too much of a look at it because the price of second-hand bikes at the moment is ridiculous, even for projects. He wanted a little bit more, but I talked him down to 100, which probably tells you something about the condition this is in. But then when I have a look, I'm pretty sure I can resell it for 200 or 300 straight away. If I can get it going, I think it'll be worth $500. So without spending too much more money on it. I will depend how it is when I get it going. I don't even try it very much at the moment, but it's always nice to have a little dirt bike. I've got a bit of a yard here. I'm on 1,000 square metres. I can ride a lap around the shed. But yeah, anyway, so I'm just gonna pull the seat, see where some of the cables go. I'm going to pull the plug, make sure it turns over with the plug out, see if there's any spark. There's no battery, but these things are ag bikes, so I probably made to run without a battery. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Well, there's been good news and bad news with the Honda CT200 I purchased for $100. After a bit of playing around and cleaning the spark plug, I discovered that it does have spark, which is one of the major battles with something that you don't really know the wiring of. It obviously still doesn't have a battery in it, so I'm getting spark off the pull start, but that should be enough to get it going. Now I did pull the air filter out and discover that the cloth element is completely gone. So that's something you've always got to watch when you buy an old bike. I bought a job lot of parts once, and the brand new never ever touched elements were just disintegrating. It is not something that happens with use, it is just something that happens with age. So yeah, Unifilter apparently do a cover for this, so that won't be too bad. One of the issues I have found is these are an Australian only model, and to the rest of the world the CT200 is a 90cc little trail bike. We call them postie bikes here in Australia. So a lot of the information I'm getting from overseas is incorrect because it's for a 90cc bike. I found a few places that do parts for these, and there's a fair bit on eBay. So I'm not thinking it's going to be too bad. What else? The tank, whilst it doesn't appear to have any holes in it, it is pretty nasty inside. This was left sitting somewhere with fuel in it. I'm going to be positive thinking about it and say, oh well, someone is probably using it and then just parked it somewhere, or the bloke I bought it off said it was on a property he bought, so maybe it was just the property got sold and no one ever used it. So it's obviously been sitting outside for a while, but I think that was the bloke I bought it off. But yeah, the back tyre pumped up, the front wheel seems to have a bicycle tube in it, so I don't have any way of pumping that up, even if I could. But yeah, new tyres, probably, but I'll get the engine running first, and we will see. Okay, so I have the carburetor off the CT200. This was definitely the most difficult carburetor I've ever had to take off any motorcycle. It just seemed to be adhered to it. I can't really see any reason. I mean, it is filthy. I think it's probably just full of crap. You can see that all in there. The worst carburetor I ever had, I bought a PE175 that I think had been on its side for a while, and big blue tongue had eaten its way through the seat, through the airbox, and then died inside the airbox and had gone all through the carburetor. And the carburetor was full of lizard skin and guts, and it was the foulest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, it took some cleaning. My way of cleaning things is to leave them in petrol until they're clean. I thought about getting a ultrasonic cleaner, but I've just never got around to it, so we'll see if that happens. But anyway, yeah, this is pretty crap, but we will dismantle it a little bit further and have a bit of a look at it. And unfortunately that is water coming out of there, not fuel. Yep, definitely water. Bugger. Anyway, as you can see, she's still pretty black, still pretty shit. That that drain hose is going nowhere. Yeah, all this is pretty foul. I mean, gosh, that's going to take some cleaning. And that's not screwed all the way in, which makes me worry that someone's been in here before. But yeah, those are... just the plates don't sound like they've got anything in them, which is a good thing. But yeah, you can definitely see where they've been sitting for ages. I am concerned about the water in there because I didn't wash it myself. So yeah, but that's definitely water, which has really got me quite worried now. But anyway, we will continue with the disassembly, I suppose, and yeah, this just all looks horrible. That bar is frozen in there. Once again, something I've not seen before. This is definitely the foulest carburetor I've ever had to deal with. I'm actually still able to blow through that one, which does surprise me, but I will definitely find something to clean it out with. Can't see through it. That one too is clear. Very surprising. But yes, I would like to get this one here out. Oh, look at that. The needle is pulling up and down, so it may well be alright. Yeah, this whole thing certainly needs a bit of a wash in some petrol. Not going to touch the idle. Might just leave the air screw as well. Not really sure how to set that, so might be better off just staying. This fuel line's about as hard as fuel line can get. And yeah, I think I'll need some more of that. I do have some more filters, I think, so that will be alright. Yeah. Get myself some petrol and soak this, and then let's see if it comes a bit better. Alright, so the carburetor's not looking too bad. I still do have the pilot jet that I cannot get anything to go through. I'm a bit reluctant to use force. I've had a bit of a look on YouTube and I see people using heat, so I might give that a try. I've decided to put gloves on just because after I did that carburetor I couldn't get the smell off my hands for 3 days. Now this appears to be riveted together, which has kind of got me screwed because I don't want to drill the rivets out because I don't know what I'm going to use to replace them. So I'm just going to see what I can do. Now it looks like we've got an O-ring here. More than an O-ring, actually. Some sort of big seal. I don't really want to pull that out of there, but I don't think it's coming out. Maybe it's just stuck in there. Maybe there's just an O-ring that's been pushed flat. Certainly stuck down, but then everything's stuck down in this thing. And now I've broken it, so that's pretty much buggered. But I guess that a little bit of red silicone will do the job when we put him back together. And there you can see in there we have the part for the that's your normal fuel tap there, so the fuel has to be this high from the bottom of the tank before it'll stop running, and then you put it on the reserve, and the reserve hole is right beside it down there. So the reserve hole is basically flat to the bottom of the tank. So what are we going to do here? I do happen to have some tip cleaners, which were loaned to me by Adrian next door. I will see if I can get them through any of these orifices. I have previously sprayed this with some brake cleaner and tried to get it all clean, blowing it with the air compressor and such. So that's tight, it's tight. And I'm just going to give that a quick blow and see what happens. Well, no improvement at the moment. I'll spray a bit more of this stuff in it. And yeah, it's not running through, it's just sitting there. I'll give that a moment to soak and then I'll put it back under the air compressor. See if we can blow a hole through it. And these are always going to be tricky. Normally I unscrew them and replace the O-ring, but that not being an option in this case, I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. I don't want to use any heat on this because I'd be more than certain that there's another O-ring in there somewhere. So yeah, anyway, we'll give it a hit with the air again. And still nothing, so I think that might be a case for a bit of an overnight soak in some petrol. Material on that won't stop all the evaporation, but it certainly helps.